What's up, guys? It's AJ, and I'm here on Gender Roles Are Dead collab channel. Um, today's this week's topic has to do with questioning your gender identity and sexual orientation or identity. And I'm sure, well, if you haven't, we got an ask from someone having trouble questioning their gender and being, I guess, reluctant and fearful of what I guess their conclusion may turn out to be, or whether or not they feel like they're FTM, and who to tell, like whether to tell anybody. Um, I'm just gonna give you, excuse me, I'm gonna give you guys, and obviously, hopefully, the person that wrote in is watching. I'm gonna give you a my point of view, my opinion on the subject, and then whatever advice I guess I could give you. So when it comes to life in general, there are two things that can be extremely scary for any one individual, and those two things are not questioning, but being yourself in a society where if you're an alternate to societal rule or like society's norms, that can be a really terrifying thing, because then you face the risk of not being accepted. The other thing is exploring yourself. Anybody that has ever attempted at self-discovery or exploring yourself knows that it can be a very scary thing, mainly because you might think you know one part of yourself when really, and you come to discover that there's another side of you that you're not familiar with, and it could be intimidating. My advice to anyone that is exploring themselves wholly, not just your sexual or your gender identity, but just you, take the risk to explore yourself. You might find some things that you absolutely love. You know what I'm saying? So I think that's a great thing to do. Self-exploration is how I've gotten to where I've gotten to love myself. So definitely do that. It's worth it. Um, Now, as considering gender questioning, there is nothing wrong with feeling like you don't fit in a box. It's totally fine. You don't have to restrict yourself to, hell, one gender. If how you feel is multiple genders, then maybe that's just you. And there's nothing wrong with questioning whether or not that's you. Some people go their entire lives without knowing who they really are or how they really feel inside, because they're trying to please everyone outside of themselves. And that's not fulfilling your life. It isn't. And it's living for everyone else except for yourself. Um, with gender, it's a tough thing, because you have many people that feel like because they see you as portraying outside, outwardly, um, a female or a male, that you're supposed to behave as such. You're supposed to dress as such. You're just supposed to embody that gender. And so it doesn't happen that way. It doesn't always happen that way. And I think parents hope that, or they don't even think about whether or not when they have a kid, is that kid gonna turn out to be a serial killer? Is that kid gonna turn out to be the next genius to freaking orchestrate the next musical masterpiece? They don't know if that kid's gonna be handicapped. It's it's a toss up, and parents just hope that the kid is healthy, but they don't ever think about what gender they want their kid to be, or not want their kid to be is once they realize the sex of the child, it's almost like they have a thing in their head that says, all right, well, this is what I want their life to be like. I don't think that's necessarily the right thing to do as in regards to gender identity. I think that there should be more freedom set on gender. Um, when you're questioning your sexual identity, I'll tell you straight up that when I was younger, I think I was in 7th grade, I had a crush and I was having dreams about my math teacher. And she was, I mean, she was so pretty to me, and she was intelligent, and she was strong. And I mean, it was just something about her that kept me locked in. Like, I had to be around her. She was also my soccer coach, and it was just, I don't know. But I didn't necessarily know that I was attracted to her. I just knew that I liked her way more than I probably should have. You know what I'm saying? So, um, I was already seeing a therapist for other reasons, and finally, like, it came to me that I might possibly be um, homosexual, but I still felt like I was supposed to like guys. So that's when the whole bisexual thing came around. I was questioning whether or not I was even interested in guys, rather than as opposed to the other way around, which is questioning whether I like women. There was no doubt about it. I knew I liked women. I just didn't know if guys was my thing, or if I was just doing it because I had to, you know. So later on, obviously, things got clearer, and my gender identity and my sexual identity became very clear to me. And there's even a gray area with my sexual identity because I know that I'll always leave room for possibility. So, without drawing this on too much further, because I have to be at work and I don't want it to be over 8 minutes, you have to be confident that you know yourself better than anybody else, and you have to feel like you're one with yourself. Your happiness is really all that matters. Having anyone in your life that doesn't support your happiness, regardless of how you're getting it, doesn't need to be in your life either. It's a hard thing to let go of, family, friends, people that you know for years, but I promise you, you'll live a way better life knowing that you are exploring and being the person that you really know that you are. So that's my advice. That's my advice. That's my take on it. And hopefully, everybody's given the person that wrote in some clarity on the issue. Really, man, don't be afraid to be you, cause you might actually be pretty freaking awesome. All right. So everybody, be blessed, and I hope you like my video. Stay tuned for Lorray on Saturdays as well, giving you real black trans realness. All right. So all right. I guess that's all I got. You guys have a great day or a great week. All right.